Yeah, hello everyone there. Today I want to talk to you on how to discover yourself. You know, we're in a new normal now. The world has changed. Things are changing very fast. What we used to do pre-pandemic time, we can't do them now in the post-pandemic period. The pandemic has really brought a new normal into the world. We should not deceive ourselves. What used to apply before might not be applicable in the post-pandemic period. And that is why everybody must go back to the drawing board to rediscover themselves. In management, that's what we call transferable skills. There are some skills that you have that you were using pre-pandemic period. You can still apply the same skill, but you need to sharpen it better. You can still apply the same skill in a better way. The post-pandemic has brought a lot of changes in the world. And that's why if you want to be relevant in your career, you want to be relevant in your profession, you want to be relevant in life, you need to change the way you look at things. And you need to go back to the drawing board to rediscover yourself. I remember some years back when the UK government was doing the highly migrant scheme visa for professionals to come in from all over the world into Britain to come and work. And at that time, I did a research and I realized that most people coming from Africa do not have the applicable experience to survive in the United Kingdom labor market. And myself and my very good friend, Dr. Bola Odekpina, we started an organization, Housing Advocacy, and we began to train people coming from Africa who are working in the banking sector, especially in the banking sector, helping them to transfer their banking skill from a third world country to be applicable into the housing market in this part of the world. You know, in the banking sector, they deal with money. They manage money. In the housing sector here, the housing association, the local authority, they manage housing stock. So we help them to transfer their skill of managing money into managing housing stock. And today, a lot of them are doing very well with housing associations, with local authorities. We're able to help them to transfer the skill because the skills are there already. So the same thing is happening right now. The skill you have pre-pandemic can also be used in the post-pandemic period. All you need to do is to discover yourself. You know, a philosopher said, knowing others is intelligence. But knowing yourself is wisdom. If you do not begin to rediscover yourself, you might not be able to be involved in the game of things that is happening in the post-pandemic period. You need to go back and look at what you can do and how you can sharpen your skills. We're in a digital world now. You know, we're in a world that people are working from home. We're in a world that you can work anywhere remotely from anywhere. Whether you're in Africa, you're in Asia, you can be working in America, you can be working in the UK. You can be applying your skill remotely. And that is why what you know that you were doing before, that you need to get to an office building before you can apply it, you need to go and renovate yourself to be able to apply the same skill remotely. And this is what I want you to rediscover in your life, so that you can be relevant in this new normal. It is important to be the right person than finding the right person. You know, if you discover yourself, and you transfer your skill to meet with the new normal, to be applicable to what is going on right now in the world, then you will be the right person rather than looking for the right person. You see, discovering yourself generally in life is very important. A lot of people are not, they're getting irrelevant now because they refuse to rediscover themselves. They are still living in the old. And things have changed. This is a fact you must know. The world has changed. The world can no longer be the way it used to be. And if you are not moving with what is going on in the world, you will be losing out. And the best way to do that is to rediscover yourself. Even in relationship, you need to rediscover yourself. Even in marriage, you need to rediscover yourself. Because the pandemic has changed a lot of things. Because right now, you'll be having your husband working more from home, doing a lot of activities from home. You will see your wife working from home, doing a lot of activities from home now. And if you are not able to rediscover yourself, how to manage it, that right now you'll be seeing more of each other, there will always be clashes. So you must rediscover your skill, rediscover yourself. How do I manage my relationship better when I'm working from home? Not just with your wife, even with your children. Especially when you have teenage children that are growing up. They will not know why they should not put on the television and listen to their cartoons because you are working. So you must be able to think very fast. How do I adapt to the new normal? Do you need to look for a hub where you can rent a space to be working that is close to your home? You need to begin to think. And that is why you need to go back to the drawing board. Who am I? What do I need to do to fit into the new normal? Let me quickly lead you to the steps of rediscovering yourself. Number one step to discover yourself is that you must avoid distractions. You must be focused. You must be intentionally focused on yourself to see where I need to make changes. Do I need to attend a new training? Do I need to do a new certification? Do I need to look at a new software? How do I apply the old into the new? How do I bring what I used to do before to be relevant with what is going on in the new world now? You need to be focused. And in focusing, you need to be thinking. You need a thinking corner. You need a thinking room. You need a thinking time. You need to have an uninterrupted time that you will not be distracted to look at what you need to do. You need to be probing yourself. What do I do now? How do I move from the old to the new? Write them down and begin to implement them one by one. Secondly, what you need to do is to find your true self. You must be able to find your true self in this new post-pandemic period. That how can I renew my thought? How can I renew my mind? How can my thought and my mind and my imagination be transformed to meet the new dispensation that we are in now? You need to ask yourself all over again. All over again, who am I? Listen to me. Every human being that survived the pandemic must be able to have a new definition for themselves. Whom you were before the pandemic is different from who you should be post-pandemic. So you might be able to tell yourself, now that I've survived the pandemic, who am I? You must be prompting your brain. You must be prompting your mind to rediscover you. Who am I? How do I fit into this new system? Then you must also ask yourself this question. Why am I here? Why did I survive the pandemic? Listen to me, for all of us that survived the pandemic, that are alive today, there is a purpose for it. You must understand. You must begin to discover, now that we are in the post-pandemic, why did I survive? Why am I here? What is my purpose in this new dispensation? How will I be relevant in this new dispensation? You need to ask yourself that question. And then you need to ask your question, where do I go from here? If you are not able to answer the question where you go from here, it might be difficult to rediscover yourself. Where do I go from here? Do I need to change career? Do I need to change my location? Do I need to go back and study again? You must know what to do next and begin to do them. Number 3 things you need to discover yourself is that you must know what you want to be remembered for. What legacy do you want to leave behind? Yes, you'll be able to tell the story of the pandemic and how God made you to survive the pandemic and you are alive. Then what you want to be remembered for. So if you are not relevant in the new normal, everything you might have done might be erased away. So it's a time to begin to build a new legacy post-pandemic. And I want to ask you that question. What do you want to be remembered for in this new dispensation? That you will be able to tell your story that after this pandemic, this is what I started doing that changed the course of things. This is what I reinvented post-pandemic. This is what I applied to my life post-pandemic. You must have a story for the post-pandemic. Listen to me. If you still want to live in the old, history will easily forget you. Nobody will remember you. Though you survive the pandemic, you will be as if you did not live. You might become irrelevant and you will be still living but irrelevant. So what do you want to be remembered for? That you will say that when the pandemic was over, this is what I did, this is how I survived, and this is the new thing I started, and this is the result of the new thing that I've started doing. You need to think about that. Number 4 thing that you need to do to rediscover yourself is to rediscover your true motivation in this post-pandemic. Listen to me, what used to motivate us pre-pandemic is different from what is motivating us post-pandemic. You know, some people, it is joy for them to dress up in the morning, wake up in the morning and drive to work, get to office, have a cup of coffee, meet colleagues, talk about last night with their colleagues. But that have changed. Things have changed. What motivates you now? You must discover your new motivation. And if you don't have one, you have to begin to be intentionally create one. If you don't do that, you will become miserable in the post-pandemic. So what will motivate you in the new normal? How do you want to enjoy yourself? How do you want to make yourself happy in the new normal? That will help you to discover yourself and then replan your life. And finally, you need to re-identify your principles because things have changed. What are your new values? You must have a new value. You must have a new philosophy of life, new principles of life. You must learn from the past. And you must look at principles that will work now. With what happened during the pandemic, should teach a lot of people lesson. May the souls of those that died in the pandemic, may their soul rest in peace. But we learned a lesson there that this life is full of vanity. We learned a lesson there that anybody can go anytime. So what are you holding tight onto? What principles are you holding on to as if the world will not end? What principles are you holding on to as if you are living life forever? I think you should begin to renew these principles. Your philosophy of life must change in this new normal. The way you see life must change. Your values must change. You must begin to look at this from a different perspective. And then you will discover yourself. Don't forget, discovering others is intelligence. Discovering yourself is wisdom. The world has changed. It's not changing, it has changed. And you need to discover yourself to be relevant in the new world. So that you will not become irrelevant in the journey of life. You survived the pandemic for a purpose. There is a reason God spared your life. You have to discover why you are alive at this period of time and begin to change your thinking, your principles, and your way of life. If you want to know more, you can check my book on Amazon or online. The New Normal, 60 Ways to Excel. See you another time.